Um, wow, that's a big one. Like
Start out big.
story-wise,
Long question. Go ahead.
yeah.
No big deal.
Yeah, let's talk about the story. I mean, the story. Were you a fan of the original? Did it kind of resonate with you in a way?
Um, I appreciate it sort of for what it was. I was really young when it came out, and read it. Um, I think sort of as an adult, like a lot of people. I think the people at Warner Brothers weren't sure if this is an interesting story within itself to tell. Because it's almost like a philosophical, psychological debate between two, legendary nemesis, and it's just like unless you're a fan, you're not gonna like really like get the impact or and so them writing a prologue, I kind of felt like it coverage-wise, as far as like the audience is concerned, I think it helps ease people into basically the world a little bit. It defines Barbara a little bit more. Like you get to see her in her prime. You get to see her, her relationship with Batman and sort of being a daughter and what she's going through. And so I think the added stuff, even though it may not be, I'm curious to see how people are going to react to it because it's hard to please fans. But I don't know. I think it was a smart move, and I think it was a good move.
How did you approach like co-directing with Bruce?
The directing thing is kind of a strange thing, because it's like I'm more like a studio director in the sense of the old school kind of way, right? Where it's like I work on multiple projects, and the producer is the one that sort of comes with the idea and kind of what they want. So I work with the producer, but I build it the first time. I talk with him and we go through the chords together and we sort of help shape the pre stuff. But then he doesn't see me and I go away and I work with a team of people and I build what I think is my mind as far as what it is. And then I show him basically what I've come up with, and he basically either likes it or he doesn't like it. Again, we worked together for quite a bit of time that I think we kind of know each other pretty well. So he trusts me to build it to a certain point, and then he just goes in and sort of tweaks it. So again, that's where the title thing is getting a little bit weird because he's a producer, but again, it's not like we both sort of sat together and just built it all together. It's like we he came with the idea. Like he sort of fixed him with the writer, and I would have something put into it as far as like, okay, this is the blueprint of how we're going to do it, and then I go away and I build it basically, and then he kind of comes in later and sort of looks at it, and we sort of massage it together. Obviously, him kind of giving me like, I think this works, I don't think this works, I think this needs to be more like this, or like, oh, that's great, I don't, just touch this, or like that totally sucks and build the whole, you know what I mean?
So when you say you built it, did you do the storyboarding for this particular project?
I work with the team of storyboard artists,
Okay.
And if depending on their talent level, I either do a lot of reboarding or do very little reboarding.
So did that work out as intended when you retrospectively look back on the project?
Again, it really just depends on, it's like casting, for the actors or something like that. There's certain people that are better at certain things, There's certain people that are really great at fighting, There's certain people that are great at acting. And there's certain people that are just really good at like drama, And so, recently, anyways, my crew of people, they're a little bit young. And so I've been having this sort of redo a lot of their work, And so, but again, it comes in cycles, So sometimes it's great, it's easy. There's other times it's just, I wish I could clone me or something because I don't have enough time in it, Yeah. So.
Working with Bruce Timm, were you a fan of DC Animated Universe beforehand? And how has it influenced you as a director and as an artist?
Bruce, I think, is the person that made me like DC. I was not a DC guy when I collected comics. I was always a Marvel guy. But watching Batman the Animated Series, that is what sort of made me interested in the DC stuff. And most of my DC history is through the cartoons, So what was the second part? Affected by my art style or my?
How has it influenced you as a director and an artist?
Oh, as a director and an artist. I'm very cerebral, so this could go in a very like long, like dissected kind of way, which nobody would be interested in. But it's strange because it's like I feel like when you do stuff right, you're either very cerebral or you're very like sort of intuitive, right? And so I'm very cerebral, you know, and Bruce is very intuitive, you know. And so in the beginning, it was difficult, our communication, because I was trying to quantify like why he would do things or why he wouldn't do things. But he does things not necessarily out of like a reason, it's because it just feels a certain way, you know. And just to, you know, of course, all the people that I've worked at Marvel before, I've worked at like different studios before. Bruce really is super talented. You know what I mean? Like his gut instinct is really. I mean, again, like everybody else is not. Again, it's art because it's subjective, but in my opinion, it's like not everything is obviously 100%, but percentage-wise, he has a super high batting average. You know, and again, it's everything. I mean, again, like when I was working on Marvel, I used the exact same team that I'm using right now as far as storyboard artists and stuff like that. But the product that comes out under Bruce is way more polished than it is, you know, when I was working on Marvel. So I've learned a lot from him. You know what I mean? Especially like in form as like directing and stuff like that, you know. But we sort of fight about things. He's a little bit old school. I'm a little more new school in certain ways. So I think I don't know. I mean, it's a collaborative. You know, I've seen him evolve as well. You know, he talks about Batman the Animated Series.